Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining and welcome back. Our guest today is a very good friend of mine, David Morgan, the publisher of the Morgan Report. And of course, he's a legend in the silver industry. Welcome back, David.
Ivan, it's good to be back. Thanks.
Yeah, it's great having you on. I want to talk to you about everything that's happening right now in silver and gold. Silver, we're touching that $39 mark, and of course, gold is going up as well. Uh, a lot of people have been talking about the COMEX as well, how there's an unprecedented amount of, they don't know who it is, but someone out there is standing for delivery, whether it's China, private banks. And they're standing for delivery and actually taking delivery of the from the gold and the silver from the COMEX. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, first thought is, where are we short term? And my short term outlook really hasn't changed. I think the last couple of times we spoke, I said early on, like in April, that I expected to see gold hit a top at 3,500 and be in a trading range throughout the whole summer, comma, possibly to the end of the year. So we're about halfway through the summer. August seasonality is very clear. The gold for low almost always happens in August. It's not a guarantee, it's not 100%, but there's a high correlation to the bottom of the gold price in August. Silver is correlated to gold at this time about 80%, it used to be as high as 85%. So basically moved together. People say, well, they're not that correlated. They're highly correlated. Having said that, I think we're in a bit of a trading range for silver as well. We've certainly breached the 35 level, which almost all technicians will agree about that level. You're in a new territory. There's not much further to go for any kind of resistance, but we're meeting resistance. So we're seeing a kind of a band between just below 40 and, I would say 35 would be the worst case. So we're just kind of treading water, you might say. So that's my outlook as far as where we are. I'd say we're range bound. I don't think it's going to break through that for a while. I do think that we will. Now, back to the COMEX. That is a very intriguing story because if you actually study the futures markets, you will determine that all commodities, soybean oil, cotton, the softs, cocoa, the metals, in that realm, about 1% of any given commodity, be it cotton, cocoa, soybean oil, or silver, comes off the market. The rest is what the market's designed for. And it's not designed for hedging anymore. It was originally designed for hedging. Right now, it's one large speculative casinos where the algorithms and the players at the CME and the, let's say, more in tuned with the way the system works players take the money from the unsophisticated, which are people, a lot of them are just beginners, hey, I could get leverage in the futures market. I listen to Ivan and David. I can't afford to buy 5,000 ounces of silver, but I can in the futures market, and silver's going up, so I'm going to buy.
Right.
And they might have got a perfect entry point or very close to perfect. But since the sport runs where the other side can see where your stop is at, all I have to do is take silver down from probably a place that you actually, in a true free market, wouldn't have ever hit. But the algo sees it, it wipes you out for 3 seconds, just enough to, gather up your money and then start the market back up or whatever. That's just an example. And I'm not saying it is manipulated. I don't like to use the word manipulated because, people at the higher realms on Wall Street or whatever, that, I get their work. And I think it's pretty accurate, actually, to be fair. But, they are like legal eagles. They're not legal scholars, but, because the word manipulated never comes up in any of those court cases. None of them,
Yeah.
never.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, you're
always
right.
spoofing. Well, spoofing is manipulation, but that's for the audience to determine. For me, it is. But, they will get and, throw it in your face. It's not manipulation. Well, yeah, how come there are all these fines? Well, that was spoofing. That's just part of the market. That's just regular market activity. Don't you know, you dummy? That's how it works. Like, yeah, I know. And okay, it's not manipulation then. It's spoofing. Anyway, I digress. I want to make the point, and I'm going long. Yes, more metal is coming off the COMEX. This is unprecedented. This is something that we only saw really one time, a recent history, meaning my history, my age. But back when Warren Buffett did it in the late 90s, he took off 130, almost 130 million ounces off the COMEX. And it
Wow.
messed them up so much that they put in a new rule. And that new rule was you couldn't have more than about 7,500 contracts at one time. And that's changed, I guess. I've got to call back. I have pretty good contacts back at the Board of Trade in Chicago. Anyway, the point is that after that happened, they said, okay, you can only stand for delivery for so many contracts. So, but I don't know if I told this story to your audience or not, but they couldn't deliver the 130 million. They only
Really?
delivered 90 million. Yeah. And they gave them, so they're going to make good on the contract. But they immediately delivered 90 million, 40 million more or less in arrears. And the lease rates went to like 17%. And Buffett, of course, gathered that leasing interest, we're going to call it interest yield, on 40 million ounces for a while. They got it all to him. He put it all in London. And, slap Bob, he's your uncle, trying to be humorous here. The SLV started out of London with 130 million ounces.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I thought I told you that story. Yeah.
No, no, I didn't know it started like
Yeah.
that.
Well, I don't claim to be the silver guru. I mean, I do that. I don't think that anyone should have a guru, be your own guru. But I just did it for fun. And I want people to know that. But there are some insights that I have that others don't. And there are insights that others have that I don't. I mean, I'm not trying to be, but that one is one that very few people know about. And really, I was kind of tipped off because one of my whales called up and I had put out some work based on one of these Wall Street guys on how little silver was in London at that time. Now we're talking about like 1999. Okay. So we're going back like 26 years. And I put out that based on this research and, paid for research that I paid for. And this guy said, I was just there and there's a lot of silver there and you're full of crap. And he's pretty angry with me. And I maintained my composure and said, okay, well, I certainly could be wrong. Let me see what I can find out for you. So I called this individual, not the one that called me, the research one. And I said, hey, what gives? Oh, well, that's Buffett's silver that's over there. So I kind of
Really?
had the inside track because I'm connected. I mean, I'm not connected to everything everywhere, but I mean, you've known me long enough to,
Yeah.
trust me. So that's where I got, haha, that's interesting. I wonder what's going to happen here. And I instantly thought Buffett hates things that don't provide a yield, a dividend or whatever. So, but he loves silver. And so anyway, you got the whole story now. And that's really what took place. But it was kind of interesting following the money and following where the silver ended up, following who started the SLV. Oh, was it JP Morgan? Oh, my namesake. So here we go.
Hello, my fellow silver and gold stacker. I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching the channel. Subscribe, please like the video, and also hit the notification bell. Keep stacking. Did do you think that Warren Buffett or Berkshire Hathaway is doing the same thing now for gold and silver, or do you think they could be accumulating gold and silver and standing for delivery all over again?
I really doubt it. There's others in the industry that think so. And, my opinions is as valid as theirs, or theirs is as valid as mine. I wouldn't surprise me if Buffett personally had a stash of gold. He might even have a little silver. I don't know.
Right.
I think the silver thing is over. I mean, at his age, and he's gotten into the silver market like three times, and two or three of those times, and this is debatable because you get mixed information, and some of it's from quote unquote reliable sources, but there's some that is in the public domain. And he did one where he had a bunch of options on silver, and I forget the price, so I'll make one up. But I'll say it was $7 silver, and the delta hedging even was functioning in those days, so the market closed at 6.95 or something. So everyone goes, "That's done." Well, when you own the option, you can pay over. So he did. He said, "I'll take it. I'll pay the nickel more, whatever it was. It was pennies. It was a dime. I think it was a nickel. Anyway, and that flustered everybody. And so, whoa. So they had kind of a meeting of the minds on how they're going to resolve this thing. But you
Wow.
got to think, the amount of silver that Buffett bought was a huge amount off the COMEX, but yet it only represented less than 2% of Berkshire's Hathaway's holdings. So when you got the annual report, which I studied and wrote about, the word silver really didn't appear in their financial. It was under miscellaneous. Because
Really?
again, yeah, because again, I'm glad we're having this conversation. I thought I had this with you before.
No.
Okay, so if it's under 2%, you don't have to report what the hell it was. So
Wow.
here's this miscellaneous investment. And if you do the calculation of 130 million ounces and what the price was at the time you took delivery, it's that number or very close to it. So
Crazy.
yeah, but I got to thinking about that this morning, not knowing what we're going to talk about today. I thought, what if, five of the Warren Buffetts, we're talking, big fund managers put 2% into their money into the silver market? Where would that take the price, right?
Yeah, it could change the whole silver industry if you just have a handful of these big players standing for delivery, which could be possibly happening right now, or it could be China. A lot of people are doubting that it's China, but some people are saying it is.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll give you a guess. And I'm going to be interviewing Eric Young at the end of this week, and I've got a lot of questions for him because he's based in Hong Kong. He's got a little bit of handle on the Chinese flow than I do, and I have a friend in China that has actually spoken in my behalf at a couple of the shows in Asia. And one of my friends, very good friends, said, "Man, he did an excellent job for you or for the company." Anyway, I digress. I've got him. I've got another friend that owns couple mining companies, and this guy, the Ghost, I forget his actual name, that's on Twitter. Very good. Doesn't speak English too well, but he writes well. And
Hmm.
I've DM'd him direct message a few times, and he's shot back some very interesting statistics for me on the silver market. And of course, I'm trying to get a relationship going with the Shanghai Exchange, which is hard to do,
Yeah, of
or it's
course.
been hard for me. But anyway, so it's not like I'm flying blind, but I'm flying in the fog. So, in seeing through the fog a little bit, it seems to me the Chinese are picking up doré where they can get it in South America, taking it home and refining it. Some of it's probably being resold on the market. Some of it may be held for strategic reasons. What's the split there? I don't know. And all of that's basically conjecture. The only thing that can be more or less proven is that they are buying doré, but we don't know how much. We don't know exactly what mines. We don't know, you know, how, the main thing is how often and how much. You want to know what the
Right.
flow rate is. You know, how many ounces per month on average is China taking out of South America? That'd be the number you want. I don't have that. Is it, if it's 2% of the market, it could have an effect because if a market's tight, 2% can mean something. But in a market which is very small, some markets very small, but relatively speaking, that amount probably wouldn't make a big difference. If it was 10% of the market, yeah, you're probably getting in an area where it could. But all markets ebb and flow, and it's the last bid at Sotheby's that get bids for the Picasso that gets it. It's the same thing in the futures markets. It's the
Right.
last guy standing up saying, or gal or entity saying, "Hey, you're going to pay 120 bucks an ounce of silver. I'll pay 125." And the other guy says, "Okay, I'm done." And the owner says, "Sold. You got it."
If you're a gold owner, you already know about all the ways precious metals can hedge yourself against financial instability. Monetary Metals is revolutionizing how people can invest in gold and silver. Right now, there's opportunities for you to earn 4% interest on your gold paid in gold in their marketplace. Now's the time to secure your wealth in an asset that the government can't inflate away. Join thousands of investors earning interest in physical gold and silver every single month with Monetary Metals. Grow your gold over time so that you're not just preserving, but growing your wealth in an asset that can't get inflated away by just printing more money. Visit the link in the description below to get started now. Yeah, no, it's crazy. I'm so grateful and thankful that you shared all of that with us with what happened with Buffett and the start of SLV. But before you go, David, I really want people to connect with you. I want them to follow your work. I'm going to put the links in the description below. So everyone watching this, you can click the link right below and you can connect with all of David's work. But where can they follow you, David?
Well, there's two places really. The best place is, as you know, themorganreport.com. Join the free email list. I mean, I've never really been banned on any of the channels, but I do have backup channels just in case. but I've been shadow banned for years. I mean,
Wow.
none of these videos ever get on the display. And my feed for YouTube is silver, silver investing, silver comments, precious metals. I mean, you can anything you can name with a hash mark I have on my YouTube feed, and my videos never show up.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, some will show up if they aren't hosted at my channel. If they're hosted at my channel, they never show up.
That's
If
so
they're hosted
strange.
by, Stansberry Research, I did that one video in my car. Was an off day. I had a bad hair day. I'm trying to be funny, but I've got over 2 million views.
Yeah,
But
yeah, that was a big video.
Yeah, Stansberry isn't banned. So if I could get 2 million views on that, bank bail-in, I was one of the first to talk about the bank bail-ins and what they really meant to the general public. Why can't I get, no more than 2,000 of my own videos?
Right. Yeah. It must be some type of censorship or shadow banning, which is absolutely what I think it is.
Well, they don't want. I mean, this goes into the, tinfoil hat, and I'm not ashamed to say it, but they don't really want a wake up call to the masses over and over. I mean, someone heard the silver story that was open minded and they heard it like 5 to 10 times. They, on their own volition, might say, you know what, this guy makes sense to me. He's not telling me to sell the farm and buy silver. I'm saving in this cash because I'm conservative and I'm losing buying power. Why not put in, what he said? Yeah, 10% sounds like a lot. I'll put in 5% into silver, right?
Right.
Well, if you had enough momentum or enough, following, and got that just through Canada, I mean, 40 million people roughly buying that much, that's 40 million ounces. Everybody buys 10 ounces, that's 400 million ounces. I mean, you
Yeah,
start
that
to
would
add
change
up.
the market.
Yeah. So that's it. So, second point is I'm almost done with the documentary. I saw the last final rough draft. I hope I made it's finalized, and here's my best effort so far. We tightened up the voiceover, and there was a couple things that are a little redundant. And then there was something I wanted to see if we could clip in. It's from the film The Ultimate Gift.
Okay.
It has to do with a very wealthy guy that did it the old-fashioned way, earned it, and he corrupted his kids to a degree of just super wealthy, didn't have any ambition, and they were kind of fighting over when when dad and this kid's grandfather passes away, how much more they're going to inherit.
Wow.
So he made a series of films for his grandson, and it starts off like I failed my family and I have failed you, but I think I can turn you around and help you, give you a real gift, not just money. That's something you'll cherish for the rest of your life. And that's how the film starts. And
Wow.
it goes into the real meaning of, I mean, you can interpret a lot of different ways, but it's really just gut level, honest, what makes us tick. And the kid didn't know that because he's always been privileged, driving Ferraris and more money than he can spend and chasing the girls, anything a 20-year-old 22-year-old guy with money would probably do.
Right.
I'm not exempt from that at that age. That kind of wealth, I probably would have been doing the same thing.
Yeah.
But so I'm going to try to get a clip in there of that movie because this that movie, The Ultimate Gift, is something I wish every high school kid had to watch it personally. But I'm just putting that out there. So said a lot to say this, Ivan, and thanks for hanging with me. You're a good listener and a good interviewer. I have almost got it complete. When it is, as we talked about last time, I just want to send it to you. Hopefully, you could send it to your mailing list for me. Maybe
Absolutely.
you could do a survey. Hey, what are three things? What did you like? What didn't you like? Would you ask David about this? It was unclear in the movie. What did he say this? I don't understand why he said that, or whatever it is.
Right.
And then after you view it, then we could have another interview where you just kind of go through the film and say, hey, I think you hit the mark, but I think you could have explained this better, or spent too much time on the problem, or whatever. It could be. Being a critic is the easiest thing in the world to be.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I'm so excited for this film to come out. And yeah, everyone watching this, we're gonna have another interview once I watch it, and then we can, open it up to the public. I'll send it out to the mailing list. I'd really, really love that. I'm gonna put your links in the description below. Everyone watching this, please go follow David's work. Please go follow the Morgan Report. And David, such a huge pleasure having you on. As always, such a huge pleasure. And yeah, I'm excited for the film to come out.
Well, thanks for having me.
Talk to you soon.